Look at your hand, right now. Lift it. Stare at the skin, the lines, the texture. It looks solid. It feels real. You trust it. You trust the screen you are watching. You trust the voice you are hearing. You believe that you are sitting in a room, occupying a specific point in time, anchoring a specific identity. You are wrong. Every signal flooding your brain at this exact second is a fabrication, a biological forgery. The hand you see is not solid. It is a cloud of probability, 99.9% empty space, held together by the electromagnetic repulsion of subatomic particles that technically do not exist until they are measured. The color of your skin? It doesn't exist. It is merely a wavelength of light rejected by the surface of your body, interpreted by a wet, dark computer sealed inside a bone casing that has never seen the sun. You are not experiencing the world. You are experiencing a simulation of the world, a delay, a buffer. By the time your brain processes the image of your hand, the moment has already passed. You are living in the past, always 80 milliseconds behind reality. You are a ghost haunting your own life. And this is just the surface. This is just the biological limit. The true horror isn't that your senses are flawed. The horror is that the system was designed to be flawed. You are not meant to see the truth. You are built to hide it. But someone knows. Somewhere in the architecture of your mind, there is a locked door, a partition, and behind it lies the answer to the single most terrifying question ever asked. If everything I perceive is a lie, then what exactly is looking through my eyes? We are going to open that door. Welcome to the Psychology Vault. The neural architecture of deception begins in the dark, total darkness. The human brain sits in a skull, completely isolated from light. It has no windows. It has no direct access to the outside world. It relies entirely on electrical impulses sent along the optic nerve, spikes of voltage, binary code. Think about that. Your brain takes raw, chaotic data, electrical storms, and translates it into a seamless, high-definition movie. It invents edges. It paints colors. It stabilizes the camera shake of your eyes starting 3 times per second. This process is called predictive coding. Your brain does not see what is there. It sees what it expects to be there. It generates a hallucination based on prior experience and compares it to the sensory input. If the hallucination matches the input, you perceive reality. If it doesn't, you experience surprise. You are trapped in a controlled hallucination, a waking dream. But you were never supposed to wake up. Let's look at the blind spot. In the center of your vision, where the optic nerve exits the retina, there are no photoreceptors. You have a hole in your vision, a gap. But you don't see a black dot. You see a continuous image. Why? Because your brain lies. It clones the surrounding texture, the wallpaper, the sky, the text on this screen, and pastes it over the hole. Photoshop, in real time. If the brain lies about the blind spot, what else is it editing out? Researchers in the 1990s discovered something called change blindness. They could swap an entire person in the middle of a conversation, and 50% of subjects didn't notice. The brain didn't allocate resources to verify the identity of the interlocutor. It just assumed continuity. It optimized for efficiency, not truth. Donald Hoffman, a cognitive scientist, proposes the interface theory of perception. Imagine your computer desktop. You see a blue icon for a folder. The icon is not the file. The file is a sequence of zeros and ones stored on a magnetic disk. If you had to toggle the magnetic switches yourself to save a document, you would never finish. So the computer gives you a lie, a blue folder, a user-friendly fiction. Evolution has done the same thing. Space and time are not the truth.
Desktop icons. They are a simplified interface designed to keep you alive long enough to reproduce. If you saw the truth, the quantum foam, the multi-dimensional probability fields, you would be paralyzed. You wouldn't be able to eat. You wouldn't be able to run. Truth is extinctive. Deception is survival. But the code is breaking down. We see glitches. We call them optical illusions, but they are system errors. The dress is blue and black. The dress is white and gold. The audio clip says Yanni. The audio clip says Laurel. These are not curiosities. They are cracks in the windshield. They prove that the objective reality you cling to is subjective vapor. And it gets worse. We haven't even touched memory. You believe your memory is a video camera. You hit record, you store the tape, you play it back. This is false. Memory is not a playback. It is a reconstruction. Every time you recall a memory, you are not retrieving it. You are rebuilding it from scratch. You are assembling the scene based on your current emotions, your current knowledge, and the current context. And here is the terrifying part. Once you rebuild the memory, you destroy the original. You overwrite the data. You are not remembering your childhood. You are remembering the last time you remembered your childhood. A copy of a copy of a copy. Each generation degrading. Each iteration drifting further from the truth. Elizabeth Loftus proved this. She could implant false memories in subjects. Memories of being lost in a mall, of spilling punch at a wedding. Memories that never happened. And the subjects didn't just accept them. They embellished them. They added sensory details. They felt the fear. They smelled the punch. The brain treats the lie exactly the same as the truth. So ask yourself, who are you? If your past is a fiction written by your present self, and your present self is a hallucination constructed by a darkroom computer, where is the solid ground? There is none. The self is the greatest lie of all. Neuroscience has looked for the seat of the soul, the pilot in the cockpit, the homunculus. They found nothing. There is no center. There is no CEO. The brain is a collection of modular systems often at war with each other. The fear module wants to run. The hunger module wants to eat. The social module wants to fit in. Who decides? You think you do. You feel the sensation of agency. I chose to click this video. Benjamin Libet, a physiologist in the 1980s, hooked subjects up to EEG machines. He asked them to move their finger whenever they felt like it. He measured 3 things: the movement itself, the moment the subject decided to move, and the electrical buildup in the brain preparing for the movement. The results shattered the concept of free will. The brain began preparing the movement hundreds of milliseconds before the subject was consciously aware of their decision to move. The machinery had already started the engine before the driver even turned the key. Your conscious mind, the voice in your head, the I, is not the captain of the ship. It is the press secretary. It is the spin doctor. It observes what the subconscious has already decided and then claims responsibility. I meant to do that. You are a passenger in a vehicle you think you are driving, but the road leads to a cliff. We need to talk about the split brain. When the corpus callosum, the bridge between the left and right hemispheres, is severed, the brain splits into 2 distinct consciousnesses, 2 people in one skull. In experiments, the right hemisphere, which controls the left hand, would try to pick out a sexy dress. The left hemisphere, which controls speech, would be unaware of the choice. When asked why the hand picked the dress, the left hemisphere didn't say, "I don't know." It lied. It invented a reason on the spot. I checked the fabric quality. This is the interpreter module. The left brain's job is to create a coherent narrative out of chaos.
It weaves a story to make you feel consistent, to make you feel sane. It rationalizes your impulses. It justifies your mistakes. It creates the I. You are a story you tell yourself, and you are an unreliable narrator. But what happens when the story stops? Let's go deeper into the structure of reality itself. Quantum mechanics, the double-slit experiment. When you fire particles through 2 slits, they behave like waves. They go through both slits at once. They interfere with themselves. But the moment you observe them, the moment you place a detector at the slit, they behave like particles. They choose a path. The act of observation collapses the wave function. This suggests that reality does not exist in a definite state until it is observed. The universe is a rendering engine. It only renders the pixels you are looking at to save processing power. Behind your head, the world is a gray, unrendered void of probability. Does the moon exist when you aren't looking at it? Einstein asked this. The uncomfortable answer is, maybe not. This leads us to the simulation hypothesis. If our reality behaves like a computer program, pixelated at the Planck length, optimized for observation, subject to processing limits, the speed of light, then the probability that we are in a base reality is close to 0. We are likely in a simulation, a generated construct, but designed by whom? And for what purpose? Look at the patterns, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence. It appears in the spiral of a galaxy, the arrangement of petals on a flower, the shape of your ear, the hurricane, the seashell, a recurring code, a signature, or a constraint. Perhaps we are not in a simulation. Perhaps we are in a farm. Consider the dominance of language. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis suggests that the language you speak determines the thoughts you are capable of thinking. If you don't have a word for a concept, you cannot perceive it.
The ancient Greeks had no word for blue. In the Odyssey, the ocean is wine dark. Studies show that cultures without a word for blue have difficulty distinguishing it from green. The filter of language blinds them. What concepts are we blind to because we lack the vocabulary? What parts of reality are invisible because our linguistic operating system hasn't updated? We are trapped in a prison of words. Success, failure, ugly, beautiful. These are not objective truths. They are social agreements. They are mass delusions reinforced by repetition. Money is a delusion. It is paper. It is digits on a server. It has value only because we collectively agree to pretend it does. If the belief breaks, the value evaporates. The entire global economy is a confidence game, a psychological trance. Status is a delusion, a hierarchy based on arbitrary signals. Time is the ultimate delusion. Physics tells us that time is not a flowing river. It is a block. The past, present, and future exist simultaneously in a four-dimensional structure. The flow is an illusion of consciousness, created by entropy. You are not moving through time. You are a static worm through space-time, perceiving cross-sections of yourself. This means your death has already happened. Your birth is still happening. Everything is fixed. But the system fights this knowledge. Why do you feel anxiety? Anxiety is the brain's attempt to predict a future that it cannot control. It is a malfunction of the predictive coding engine. It is the noise in the signal. Why do you feel déjà vu? A glitch in the memory circuit, a short circuit where the brain mistakes the present input for a past recording. Why do you dream? Dreams are the screensaver, but they are also the testing ground. The brain runs simulations during REM sleep. It practices threat scenarios. It consolidates data. It tries to make sense of the nonsensical. Sometimes the dream feels more real than the waking world. How do you know you aren't dreaming right now? Descartes asked this.
I think, therefore I am. It was the only thing he could be sure of, that thinking was happening. But he assumed I was the one doing the thinking. Nietzsche corrected him. It thinks. Thoughts appear. You don't create them. You catch them. You are the antenna, not the broadcaster. So, where does the signal come from? The collective unconscious? Jung described a shared reservoir of archetypes, a cloud storage of human experience. We access it through myths, through art, through madness. Or is the signal external? We are biological machines, wetware. We run on chemical algorithms, dopamine, serotonin, cortisol. We can be hacked. Advertising is a hack. It bypasses the logical brain and targets the limbic system. It associates a product with a survival drive, mating, status, security. You don't buy the car, you buy the feeling of dominance. Social media is a hack, a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, the same psychological mechanism used in slot machines. You pull to refresh, you get a reward. Maybe, maybe not. The uncertainty releases dopamine. It keeps you addicted. It keeps you scrolling. They are mining your attention. Your attention is the currency. You are not the customer. You are the product. But you know this. You've heard this before. So why can't you stop? Because the architecture of your mind is designed for addiction. It seeks patterns. It seeks novelty. It seeks confirmation. We are trapped in a loop. Confirmation bias. We only see what supports our existing beliefs. We filter out the rest. We build a fortress of agreement around us. We live in echo chambers, not just online, but in our neural pathways. The brain physically changes to reinforce these loops. Neural plasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you think a negative thought, you pave a highway for that thought to return faster next time. You are physically building the structure of your own misery. But this architecture can be raised. This is the pivot. This is the danger. If reality is a construction, it can be deconstructed. If the self is a story, it can be rewritten. If the rules are arbitrary, they can be broken. The reality paradox is this: the realization that everything is a lie is the only path to the truth. When you strip away the sensory inputs, when you silence the interpreter module, when you realize the past is a fabrication and the future is a prediction, what is left? Pure awareness. The observer. The eye that sees but cannot be seen. This is what the mystics talked about. This is what the quantum physicists are stumbling toward. The unified field. The consciousness that precedes matter. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the space in which they happen. But the system protects itself. It uses fear. The fear of death. The fear of insanity. The fear of social ostracization. These are the electric fences of the enclosure. When you get close to the edge, the alarm bells ring. You feel existential dread. You back away. You return to the comfort of the blue folder icons. You return to the illusion of solid hands in linear time.
It is safer to sleep. But you are listening to this because you are tired of sleeping. You feel the glitch. You feel the texture of the walls. You suspect that the set is made of cardboard. Let's examine the uncanny valley. We feel revulsion when something looks human but isn't quite right. A robot, a corpse, a CGI face. Why do we have this evolutionary instinct? What did our ancestors encounter that looked human but wasn't? What mimics us? Or what do we mimic? Psychopathy, the lack of empathy, a different operating system. Are they broken or are they optimized? In a corporate structure, they thrive. In a ruthless system, the ruthless win. Is our society structured to select for the predator? Look at the architecture of your cities. Concrete canyons, artificial light, disconnection from nature. We have built a zoo for ourselves. And
productivity, animals develop neuroses. They pace, they self-harm, they become aggressive. Look around you. The depression epidemic, the anxiety spike. It is not a chemical imbalance in the brain. It is a logical reaction to an insane environment. We are trying to run Paleolithic software on a silicon hardware. We are incompatible with our own creation. We are suffering from mismatch theory. And the drugs? They numb the signal. They patch the software. They don't fix the hardware. We are treating the smoke, not the fire. The fire is the lie that you are separate, the lie that you are an individual ego fighting for survival in a hostile universe. Physics says we are all stardust, heavy elements forged in the hearts of dying stars. You are 14 billion years old. You are the universe experiencing itself. This sounds poetic. It is actually literal. There is no boundary where your skin ends and the air begins. There is a thermal exchange, a gas exchange. You are a whirlpool in the river. The water flows through you, holds your shape for a moment, and moves on. You are not the water. You are the pattern. And patterns repeat. Fractals. The branching of a tree matches the branching of your lungs, matches the branching of lightning, matches the branching of river deltas. As above, so below. The universe is holographic. The whole is contained in every part. If you slice a hologram, you don't get half the image. You get the whole image, just fainter. You contain the entire dataset of the cosmos within you. But you have lost the decryption key. We have been conditioned to look outward. Telescopes, microscopes, screens. We look for answers in the data, but the data is corrupted. The answer is in the silence between the data. Let's go back to the beginning, the Big Bang, the singularity. Everything was one. Then, explosion, separation, cooling, matter, stars, planets, life, minds. The universe shattered itself to know itself. You are a fragment of the mirror, but the reflection is distorted. Consider the Mandela effect. Vast groups of people remembering a different history. Nelson Mandela dying in prison. The spelling of the Berenstain Bears. A cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo. False memory or merging timelines. Many worlds interpretation. Every decision creates a branching universe. There are infinite versions of you. Some are kings, some are beggars, some are dead. Are we sliding between the frequencies? When you have a near-death experience, the brain floods with DMT. The pineal gland, the third eye, activates. People see the same things. Tunnels of light, machine elves, geometric entities, a feeling of returning home. Is death the waking up? Is life the dream? Plato's cave. Prisoners chained to a wall, watching shadows cast by a fire. They name the shadows. They build a science of shadows. They kill anyone who tries to unchain them. We are the prisoners. The screen you are looking at is the shadow. But who is casting it? The menacing truth is, you are. You are the projector. You are the film. You are the light. You are the prisoner. You are the warden. There is no they. There is no system out there. The system is in here, in the neural pathways you reinforce every day, in the beliefs you refuse to question, in the fear you refuse to face. The reality paradox is a loop. You create the reality you perceive, and the reality you perceive creates you. To break the cycle, you must stop the world. You must pause the rendering engine. Meditation, sensory deprivation, psychedelics, trauma, awe. These are the tools to jam the gears, to glimpse the raw code. But the system is resilient. It will pull you back. It will distract you with a notification, a hunger pang, a memory of an awkward conversation from 5 years ago. It will do anything to keep the illusion running. Because if the illusion stops, the game ends. And we are terrified of the void. We fill the silence with noise. We fill the space with clutter. We fill the time with activity.
We are running from the nothingness, but the nothingness is where the potential lies. The vacuum of space is not empty. It is seething with virtual particles, the zero-point energy, the source of all matter. You must become the nothing. This is the ultimate threat to the status quo, a free mind, a mind that understands the game, a mind that knows the walls are made of thought. Such a mind cannot be controlled. It cannot be sold to. It cannot be frightened. This is why the truth is hidden, not by a conspiracy of men in suits, but by the conspiracy of biology, by the conspiracy of entropy. The universe wants to sleep. Consciousness is the insurrection. You are the resistance. Every time you question the narrative, you create a glitch. Every time you choose love over fear, you rewrite the code. Every time you see the stranger as yourself, you dissolve the illusion of separation. The world is a stage. You have been playing a role. The script was handed to you at birth. Your name, your religion, your nationality, your race, your class. Burn with script. Improvise. The scary thing about freedom is that there are no guardrails. If you are the architect, you are responsible for the building. You can no longer blame your parents. You can no longer blame the government. You can no longer blame your brain chemistry. You are the observer collapsing the wave function. So, look at your hand again. Really look at it. It is energy. It is ancient. It is temporary. It is yours. The screen is fading. The voice is ending. The silence is returning. The simulation is waiting for your input. What will you choose to see? The lie you were sold? Or the impossible truth that you are the dreamer and the dream is ending? Wake up.